NFL draft and counting. While all of us are discussing who will go where and how high, the young men going through this process are trying to savor the moment while reflecting on and honoring those who have helped them along the way on this journey. Cam Ward's story from Incarnate Word QB to the top of draft boards is a unique one that he says wouldn't be possible without the support of his family.
I've attended 3 different colleges throughout my college journey. Father's name is Calvin Ward. Patrice Ward is my mother. Been there all my life. They've been to every one of my youth games since I got to middle school, high school. They missed 0 games of my college career. In Miami, it'll only be a 2-hour trip from Texas to Miami. They're playing, being at every NFL game, no matter we playing in the United States or we playing overseas. They enjoy watching me play. It means a lot to me to have them be a part of every game, be a part of my life every day. So I've been blessed. They've sacrificed financially for me, time, just putting me in positions to showcase my skills. So, I'm always going to support them how they support me.
Our own Mel Kiper Jr. projects 5 quarterbacks will be taken in the first rounds of the upcoming NFL draft. Cam Ward expected to go first overall to the Titans, followed by Shedeur Sanders to the Saints, Jackson Dart to the Rams. Now in the second round, Mel has Tyler Shuck landing in Cleveland and Jalen Milroe joining the G-Man. We now welcome 2 of our NFL draft analysts, Jordan Reed, Matt Miller, and Matt, in Mel Kiper Jr.'s latest mock draft, he's got Shedeur Sanders going 9 to the Saints. Other mocks have him 3 to the Giants. Kind of help me here, because there's some that have him at 21 to the Steelers. Why does it seem like Shedeur Sanders' draft place is all over the place?
Yeah, we talk about range in the draft. Shedeur's is big. It is from 3 probably all the way to 21. The Saints are definitely very interesting with Derek Carr at number 9. But I think what we're having happen is teams are basically evaluating Shedeur against the current quarterback room. If you're the New York Giants, you added Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. Is he going to start over Russell Wilson this year? Probably not. And this is a franchise where Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll are really coaching and drafting for their jobs. Then you get to no man's land in the teens of the draft, where every club will have to say, okay, we've got a starter already. We're not the worst team in the NFL. We have to compare him to our current quarterback room. That's what makes it so hard to project a landing spot for him if he does get past the Giants at 3 or the Saints now at number 9.
Yeah, man, it's just the mixed opinions on the physical tools with Shedeur Sanders. You have some teams that really like him and feel like he can be that piece that uplifts his surroundings. And then there's other teams that have some worries about as far as what his ceiling can be on the next level. But there's no denying what he was able to do throughout his career, whether it was at Jackson State or most recently at Colorado. He took over 2 programs that did not have a history of winning prior to him getting there. But then he goes to Colorado. He's able to change that program. And then at Jackson State, he did the same thing, being able to win 2 SWAC titles there. His toughness, and then also the winning ability when he's able to turn a program around. There's no denying that about Shedeur Sanders.
So based off of his skill set, Matt, I'll start with you. Which team, in your opinion, is the best fit for Shedeur Sanders?
I'm going to go a little bit out of left field here, guys. How about the Miami Dolphins? They have a quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa who's had injury and concussion issues. That is really what's holding Miami back, is Tua's inability to stay healthy. If he happens to get there, to pick number 13 in the first round, I think you have to consider it in Mike McDaniel's offense, Shedeur's ability to play from the pocket, how surgical he is with his accuracy, the way that he understands space and timing. I think Miami's offense would be a perfect fit for him. You have Jalen Waddle, we have Tyreek Hill, a good stable of young running backs, and an offensive line in front of him that would be able to protect him. Now, the likelihood that Miami takes a quarterback in the first round is probably slim, but we've seen this before when players like Jordan Love slipped through the cracks in the first round. The Green Bay Packers said, hey, we're going to need a quarterback again eventually. Let's go ahead and take one now. So if we're just talking best fit, I love Miami for Shedeur.
Yeah, that's a really underrated one, Matt, but I'm going to go with a more obvious one in the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints have a huge need at quarterback, especially after the Derek Carr news that came out yesterday. This is a big decision for the Saints to make. They're definitely a team that always feels as if they're in win now mode, and it's obvious that they need a long-term quarterback of the future. They took Spencer Rattler in the 5th round, and they still can figure out if they have anything in him. But why not add Shedeur Sanders to the room with Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and then some of the other weapons that they do have with Alvin Kamara in the backfield? So you take Shedeur Sanders at number 9 overall. Now you have your cheap option to take on while you try to figure out the whole Derek Carr situation and with that moving forward.
Yeah, that news about Derek Carr has shoulder issues, may need surgery, probably could be out for the entire season for the New Orleans Saints. By the way, Shedeur Sanders completed an FBS high 74% of his passes last season. You need an accurate quarterback? He's certainly your guy. That's Jordan Reed, Matt Miller. Thank you, gentlemen.
About the visit, he even said Mike Tomlin reminds him of his father, Coach Sanders. The Steelers was great. I understand why they win so much, why Mike Tomlin is the way he is. He resembles my dad a little bit. They have the same principles. Shedeur reportedly does not want to be taken top 3 per NBC. I believe ideally he would like to go to New Orleans. I believe that's where he would really like to go.
Of all places, New Orleans?
Yep.
Can you explain why he would want to go to New Orleans? Just curious.
You look at the receiver core they got.
Chris Olave.
They got Chris Olave. 22. What's the name? The speed?
Rashid. No.
Rashid. Yes.
I said it right.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, that young bull can run, boy. You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, he can run.
Juwan Johnson. I think that's the tight end. Alvin Kamara is still there.
Ooh, that's nice. That's nice.
Indoors.
Okay. Now you cooking. Now you making sense. You making sense to me. He's not going to be there. What the Saints pick? What?
9.
He's not going to be that 9.
But here's the thing.
He's not going to be that 9.
Once he gets past the top 3, Ocho, nobody needs a quarterback.
He's not getting past the top 3.
Ocho, Jacksonville not going to take a quarterback.
Tennessee needs a quarterback. The Giants need a quarterback.
Tennessee taking Cam Ward. Tennessee has canceled. They canceled Shedeur. They canceled Travis Hunter. What does that tell you? They canceled the visit. They reached out to the agency and say, we're going to respectfully decline. Hopefully you guys understand. What does that tell you?
Who are they taking?
They're taking Cam Ward.
And what happens if they pull a belly flop and take Abdul Carter? Okay. You know how the NFL works. They have you thinking one thing and they do another.
Let me ask you a question. Does Abdul Carter make them better right now? Or does a quarterback make them? Remember, we just talked about what do you need in that division? Quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lawrence, Stroud. You said you believe Anthony Richardson's going to be better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you're right. You're right. But listen, you know what? I look at Abdul Carter and I see him similar to that of a Von Miller, similar to that of a Micah Parsons, being able to change and impact the game tremendously. A play right now type of player. That's a good one. Because I'm not talking about just any type of player. I see Abdul Carter as a transcending talent, a generational talent, similar to the 2 players that I just named. But Cam Ward, listen, you're right. You're right. You can't go against that.
I believe they're going to. I believe they canceled all visits.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
It's hard for me to believe, Ocho.
Yeah.
That you're going to take a guy with the first overall pick,
right,
and you don't have an individual meeting with him.
Right. You're right.